Hey there everyone, my name is Samuel Johnson, and this is a Legionnaire flight ring. Did you know this is the second one I had to actually get? The first one I got for free at a comic store, but I had to throw it away because my dog chewed the last one up. So I got this one off of eBay. I was not happy when I had to throw the other one away, but that's a different story altogether. You're all probably wondering who the hell I am if you're new to this channel. Well, if you are new, welcome. But I am a very low-grade YouTuber who, the main shtick that I typically do for this channel is that for the last few years, I have done a series of vlogs on various shows and franchises that I personally enjoy or grew up with. Typically how the vlogs go is that every Friday or some other day, depending on if it's a side vlog or not, I sit down and watch an entry into that show or franchise, and then once I'm done, I sit down in this here chair and then typically give my thoughts on it. Usually starting out by giving a plot summary and explaining what the hell happened in said show or entry in a franchise, what I thought worked about it, what I thought didn't, and overall if I think it's good or not. And basically the shows and franchises that I've looked at have typically kind of ranged and gone across the board. When I first started these vlogs, I first started out by looking at the first two Ben 10 series. Then after that, I shifted to looking at Danny Phantom. After that, I decided to look at various all the movies in the MCU, which are technically still ongoing vlogs since those films are still coming out. Then likewise, I shifted over to looking at the show Code Lyoko. And then I went back to Ben 10 by looking at crossovers. And then after that I looked at a very short-lived Spider-Man cartoon that was on MTV. And just last week I finished doing a vlog on the show Steven Universe. And they're not the only vlogs that I do. Like I said, I also do some side vlogs. After all, there are various other things that I do typically enjoy. Like for example, for the last 2 years in October, I've been doing a series of Halloween vlogs that look at various shows or franchises. Like the first time I did it, I looked at Over the Garden Wall. And then last year I looked at a series of Scooby-Doo movies, and I also even do various side vlogs for my MCU vlogs, which includes looking at the Disney Plus show What If, since I love What If, and one's looking at the Sony films, which even 2 weeks from now I'm going to be doing a vlog on the new Madam Web movie that just came out, even if it turns out it's not good. My point is this: I've done a lot of these vlogs for quite a long time, and there's even another vlog that I'm currently doing that's a side vlog that is mostly kind of experimental that I call the Spider-Verse retrospectives, wherein I look at all the various Spider-Verse related comics, since Spider-Verse is one of my favorite comic book storylines. But the thing is, the vlogs themselves are very unprofessional. I go in very much unprepared. I have no script, I take no notes, and most of the time I tend to end up rambling and going off on certain tangents, and as you can see right there, I have a dog that likes to interrupt these vlogs because she has abso-friggin-lutely no idea that I don't like when I do that. But I forgive her because she's adorable, and I love her, and there is no force on this world that could ever make me hate her. I will get angry at her, but I can never say I hate her. She is my bestest friend, and if anyone tries to hurt her, I will find you. My point is this: when it comes down to these vlogs, they are very much unprofessional, low grade, and when the only bit of equipment that I actually use for them is my tablet and occasionally my phone if I need a light, if I'm recording when it's too dark out. But I've been doing them for a long time, and for some reason that I don't understand, people seem to think I'm good at them. I even have friends who do occasionally watch these vlogs and say they'd like to listen to them while they do like odd jobs like drawing or so forth. And that does make me happy. It does fill my heart knowing that people watch the vlogs. Even if the view counts of the videos are very much low, it does make me happy knowing that at least someone watched them, if even just for a few minutes before turning away because they got bored. But ultimately, some of those friends have recommended that I potentially look at other subjects. After all, I do tend to look at quite a few different series, though typically I like to keep them all themed. But again, friends have suggested stuff, like movies that they grew up with, things that they personally enjoy that they love to hear my thoughts on. And while I never outright said no, I never overall said yes either. It's just been something that's been in the back, but I did kind of keep mental notes on stuff that's been suggested to me. Just things like, well, maybe one day I could do a vlog on that. I just had to figure out how I could fit it in somewhere. And ultimately, once upon a time, two friends that I had known had suggested two separate films that they recommend I look at, which, like I said, kept in the back of my mind. And then one day, I began thinking of a film that I personally enjoyed when I was younger. One that's not very well known, and one that I even only stumbled upon via an accident, that I did kind of think, I actually liked that. I'd love to talk about it or see it. And I began thinking, what if this is the excuse? And from there, I decided that, what if I kind of did this as the theme? What if I look at films that were suggested to me by friends? After all, everybody's got something in their childhood that they look back at fondly and would love to revisit every once in a while. And of course, we all want to share that with someone. We all want to see what other people look at, what other people think when they look at these products. What comes to their minds? Do they like it? Do they not like it? Is it something that they themselves will grow to enjoy, or is it something that they just kind of pass over? Again, it depends on the person. And ultimately, well, I only had 2 suggestions at that time. I thought, why don't I just do a vlog series on that? And so, here we are. I decided to eventually just do a vlog series centered on these films suggested by friends, though I decided to also include the movie that got the ball rolling, since after all, that's kind of what I wanted to look at, and well, I decided that since at the core of all these things were the films suggested to me by friends, I would save my film for last. And the thing is, those 2 movies aren't the only ones that wound up getting suggested to me. Ever since I decided to do those vlogs, I have talked to other friends about it and asked, hey, well, what film would you recommend? And more suggestions have been put onto it. And as a result, for these vlogs, I've decided to look at all of those movies. More films suggested to me by my friends that they suggested that I look at, watch, vlog about, and ultimately just, just things that they personally recommended for one reason or another. And, well, that's what we're here to do today. And so, so basically, what's going to happen? Basically, for the next few weeks, I am going to be doing a 6-week vlog series, technically 7, because there is going to be a 1-week hiatus between 2 of the movies, that I'm just basically going to watch some of these films suggested to me by my friends and give my thoughts in my usual fashion. Of course, they're probably going to be long videos, since these are movies, and those typically take more time to look at, especially when doing the plot summaries, but overall, I'm going to be giving these films the exact same treatment that I would any other show or franchise that I would typically vlog about. Like I said, they're not going to be professional, they're probably just going to be all over the map, but regardless, it is my chance to finally look at some of these films and give my honest-to-goodness thoughts on it. Of course, now, ultimately, this is not going to be a long series of vlogs. Like I said, it's only like a few weeks, but ultimately, I'm going to be working through all the films suggested to me by friends, but we're wrapping it all up with the film that got the ball rolling for me, which, if you're wondering what that film is, you're just going to have to wait and see. But it is one that I hope that at least a good chunk of you have heard of. But, with all that said, if you are interested in seeing these vlogs, then I hope you join me for the next few weeks. If not, totally fine. There are plenty of other things on the internet to look at, but at the very least, for those that are interested, I hope I'm able to suitably entertain you in my inane, rambly fashion, because, well, today we're going to be entering into a series of videos that I personally like to call the Friday Night Film Strips. And to kick them off, we're going to be looking at a film suggested to me by my friend Badger, as, well, we see what happens when Tim Curry becomes a smog monster intent on destroying the environment with Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest.